Hi, this is a XK120 that participated twice in the Mille Miglia. It's not an original Mille Miglia car from back in the day, but as it's on the list and it's eligible, this car participated twice in the so-called modern Mille Miglia. We don't want to talk about this one. It's interesting, but we don't want to talk about it. What I want to talk to you about is the XK140. After the 120, they improved their car and they decided to make a new model, which looks a bit like the 120 but is improved. You find these lines that are very prominent in the body. There's an edge, there's a cutout, and you still have this 1950s feeling of a body that is always put on a chassis. So it's a chassis car, like the 120, even like the 150. There are three models in both the 120 and the 140 and the 150. The most sporty one is the OTS. OTS, Open Tourer Sports, is the car for people who don't want a roof. We don't want to see the roof, but as this car was designed and built in England, it rains a lot, so we need a roof. So the roof is here behind the seats. On the 120, it's a problem because the car is very small and people that are bigger than 1.75 m, 180, like me, or heavier than 100 kilos, also like me, they won't fit. In the 140, there's a little bit more room. And so this is the OTS. This actual car is built or restored as to look like the replica, to look like the car who did the 140 miles per hour record in Jaguar, like the 120 did. It's brilliant, but that's a side note. More interesting is that next to the OTS, we have the DHC, Drop Head Coupe. This is something else. This is a car where we don't talk about sporty anymore. Of course, the 3.4 is a powerful engine, and back in the 50s, if you had this, you were twice or three times faster than the rest. But this car has a hood, and of course, because it's cabriolet, you need it also for the rain, etc. But there is no trouble in mounting this roof. You just need to pull it up and it closes. The interior is all about luxury. On the OTS, we find the typical dashboard with the centerpiece that is covered in leatherette. Here, it's all about wood, it's posh, it's really finished as if it would be expensive limousine, because these cars were also the first generation where the owner, the buyer of the car, would drive it himself. And some people, especially Jaguar buyers, which are not always youngsters, they don't like shifting gears. So this is one of the first cars where they put in a sporty cabriolet, an automatic gearbox. So the automatic gearbox back in the day would eat a certain percentage, some say 20%, of the capacity of the engine. So if you had a 100 horsepower engine, it will feel, because of the automatic gearbox, like an 80 horsepower, and that is slow. But here, on this car, no worries, because there's plenty of power, and so even if you lose some of the power in the automatic gearbox, it's still a powerful car. Most of these cars today have been converted because journalists and general public and also restorers in general said, like, listen, the XK is a sports car, we need a manual gearbox. But this one not. This one kept its original automatic box and it works like a charm. So the car is red with beige interior. Of course, it has the C-type head under the hood. It has the special lights, the chrome wire wheels, the big tires, and it retains not its original brakes, but it had been upgraded with disc brakes. And that's because this car was restored to use a lot, to travel, to do all kind of round trips and little service club rallies. This car was maintained to use. That's why it's a tremendous opportunity. Let me show under the hood. So here we have the famous XK engine, which is powered by two small SUV carbs, and this is original. Everything on this car is original, but the C-type head makes it special because the Type C was a race car, and so they developed a special racing head. Head is the upper part of the engine, which gives the mix, the compression and the mix between fuel and air that starts in the carburetors, a special treatment. So you can toy around with this and make it higher compressor, lower compressor, etc. And so they had this special engine and they decided to fit it as an option on only the XK140. And this car has this engine. It also has the porcelain covered exhaust collectors. And even though this car looks as it's been driven, it's in pristine condition. You can do anything you like with this. You can take it for a trip, you can rally it, you can put it in your collection and enjoy having it. Anything is possible. This is a really special car, especially for someone who wants to drive an automatic of the 50s, because there are second to none. They are not available, so the choice is not very big. And here you have everything. It's posh, it's a really good condition, it's a good investment, and it's automatic. So if you want this car, I don't think it will be with us for a long time, but if you want this car, it's available at Oldtimerfarm in Belgium. Feel free to give us a call, send me a mail. If you send me a mail, I'll send you the full inspection report with all details, everything that's wrong with this. For example, there will be a picture of this small part here where the paint is no more perfect. You will see that, and you will see that you can buy this car with a separate inspection even, or unseen. The only goal we have is that you are happy with what you see or potentially buy at Oldtimerfarm. Thank you very much for your attention.